Hello and welcome to our next episode of NAFter Hours. I'm excited for my next guest. I've gotten a chance to get to know Eric just earlier this year as we become more personal friends. And, I think that as we grow personally, we can grow professionally. But with that, Eric is in our Puyallup branch, which I've learned how to say properly. Did I say it right, Eric? Okay. And really, one of our attractive leaders in our Northwest region. I really believe that Eric is somebody that I can feed into, which is what I try to do as a leader. And I'm excited to sit down with Eric today and just talk about, why he joined NAF and maybe some of the things that motivate and excite him. So, with that, Eric, you're coming up on 2 years. Your team is growing. You've got a productive team. You're attracting new talent. I mean, from my perspective as a leader, you're doing all the right things, and I could really appreciate you as a person and as a leader. And with that, why did you join NAF, and what's kept you here, my friend?
I mean, thank you, Craig. I really appreciate being on this podcast with you. This is pretty fun. So, my journey to NAF basically was a culture change. I was at a company where I just felt it was toxic, and I just felt that I had been there a long time, and I just felt things had changed when I first started. And I kind of got involved with Tony Blodgett and Tanya Wortham, and kind of the idea of that this is a different place. This is a place that's a little tiny bit smaller than where I was, and I just thought, hey, there's no drama here. Let's just do loans, and I just really like that fact. So that's why I'm here. I love this place. So
No, you hit on some good points there. Ultimately culture. And when I looked under the hood, there was 5 things that I was looking for, maybe 7 actually. A company that wouldn't go public, a company that cared from top down, a company that could basically support the West Coast, a company that could be aggressive in jumbo because I came from the Bay Area, a
yeah,
company that would give me the territory that I wanted. And culture wasn't one of them, Eric. And respectfully, when I got here, I really felt what culture truly is about. We've got an abundance of people that are within the region, within the company, that are sharing ideas, sharing strategies, coaching, which I know is something that you subscribe to. So, as we basically talk about coaching for a second, let me ask you this. What kind of coaching do you subscribe to? You've been doing it for a long time. I know that it's working for you, and I'd love to hear more.
yeah, I love coaching. The quick story of my coaching. I mean, I was in the Corps for 10 years, and basically that kind of got a little stale. And then I met Amir Saeed that was at the company I was at before, and he was starting a coaching program. And it was more of a, instead of the Corps, is more old school, face to face, a lot of contact, a lot of phone stuff. But he added the modern LO approach to it, which was really, let's add social, let's add being seen before you're heard. Let's really add this. And I love this part. This is why I'm so attracted to you, Craig, as one of my attractive leaders in the market, is that this law of abundance. And let's think of expanding universe kind of with loans, especially. There's so many loans out there, and we can get ours. But back to coaching, I mean, just having the structure, the process, having an idea of what they're supposed to do all day on sales activity and tracking, being accountable. That's been my biggest part as a coaching, is that I need to be accountable to somebody on the activities that I do every day. And I thought with Go Coaching, I think 3 out of the 5 of us in the branch are all coached, and I coach my guys. I get coached. I just think it's a game changer for really, having a direction on where you want to go with originating loans.
Absolutely. No, I don't disagree. I think that, you know, uh, you're a baseball player, you're a football player, you're any type of athlete. Everybody's got some sort of coach and, or mentor of some respect. And, thankfully we have a lot of different resources around us here at New American Funding, including even, some of our internal regional support, as well
Mhm.
as, just our leaders within that are sharing strategies, ideas across the country. So,
Right.
no, really cool. Eric, as we kind of dive deeper into what I know you're passionate about, ultimately the USO is something that you've been
Yeah.
very invested in. Talk to us about what the USO is, bud.
The USO is kind of a nonprofit. Well, it is a nonprofit, but it's been created. It's probably around for 50 years, but it's basically the old, place where you'd see the Bob Hope show in Vietnam or whatever, and the old Bing Crosby movies with the USO was supporting, troops in different duty stations. But
Right.
the USO is just a great give back to active duty members, veterans, and really it's just a place when you PCS from one base to another, it really allows for a place to transition with the whole family, and they take care of everybody trying to move. And so, being a part of that and donating money to it and being involved with their fundraising really gives me a chance to give back. I think the one thing with getting back to coming, why I came to NAF was, the core value of NAF, wasn't putting our name on baseball fields. It was really serving the underserved.
Right.
And I heard Paddy Abiallo talk about that when I first, went to my event to get recruited. And I just thought, wow, I mean, this is a great place to give back to those who serve. And, it's one of the most underserved part is our VA, our veteran community. I think on JV alone, we had active duty people still living in campgrounds. There's still not enough housing for military families. And so that's my passion. I want to give back to the military community, the VA, and I want to help them understand how to get a home loan. And it's just an education, transparency. It's just really makes me feel good and why I do mortgage.
Yeah, I think it's important to have, a why, and I really respect, the service for those that have served our country and those of us like yourself that are giving back. So, with that, I know, we only have so much time here, but I want to make sure that, for those of us that are in the Puyallup market, we just recently celebrated a grand opening a few months back. Eric Harlington is one of our attractive leaders. If you'd like to hear more about, New American Funding, I think that, life is about when choices and opportunities open up, taking a look under the hood and being open to infinite possibilities. And when you are, I feel like the universe provides. Eric, and I have really gotten a chance to start really creating some momentum and would love for you to, join the family. So thank you, Eric.
You're welcome. Thank you, Hank, for having me on. Appreciate it. It was fun.
Appreciate it. Have a great week, everybody.